and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. So look at this, this is actually a $10 million game. That is crazy, that is insane. And more importantly is how this game actually came about and why it found so much success. The reason is because they followed the perfect plan to launch a game on Steam in 26. They followed it absolutely perfectly, everything went well, and that is how it found massive success. The developers themselves wrote a really nice post talking about everything that they did, and like I said, they really followed the absolute perfect plan. If you want to find success nowadays, this is basically the plan step by step that you should be following. Obviously, just following the plan does not guarantee that you get $10 million, of course not. But if you follow this plan, guaranteed you won't find much better results than if you just randomly launch a game on Steam. There are so many interesting things that they did that I wrote over here, my main takeaways from it. It generally is impressive how many things they did that is so good. They literally did absolutely everything right. And if you want to learn Unity game development, I just started my CodeMonkey Summer Bundle. This is a bundle containing all my courses and games, so you can learn whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced user. If you're a beginner, you can start with either my Kitchen Chaos course, or for 2D, check out my Lowlander course. If you prefer something more technical, you can check out my C# course. This one contains a companion project which includes interactive exercises. These require you to actually write code in order to make sure you're actually learning the contents of each lecture. This one takes you all the way from beginner to intermediate and advanced. If you are already intermediate or advanced, then this bundle also includes my problem solving course. This one teaches you the most valuable skill of all. It is a very practical hands-on course. It's got over 200 problems for you to solve. This will make you insanely good at problem solving and debugging. Then it also includes my Dots course if you want to learn this really awesome toolset. You can learn how to make multiplayer games, either with netcode for game objects or netcode for entities. You can learn all about Unity with over 70 tools and features explained. Then the bundle also includes Steam keys for all my Steam games. So if you want to play a fun automation game, check out Dingy Gardens. Plus the bundle also includes 1 month of my Game Dev Practice Lab. This is my weekly Game Mechanics Challenges program, where I give you the starting project files along with a bunch of objectives, and then it's up to you to write some code to make those mechanics a reality. So yep, whether you're a beginner or intermediate or advanced, this bundle has something for you. My goal is to help you learn, so if you want to learn, then by going through all of this content, I guarantee you will gain a ton of knowledge to help you make whatever games you want to make. And as always, I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're unhappy for literally any reason whatsoever, you don't even have to give me a reason. Just send me an email, I'll process a refund, and that's it. Check it out with the link in the description. First of all, they actually began, so this was intended to be a quick game after we decided that spending 1.5 years on the last project wasn't worth the risk. Right away, that's my first takeaway, which is something that I'm constantly advising you to do, which is make small games. Here they clearly write how they spent 3 developers working on a game for 1.5 years and that game made $70K, which by itself, honestly, that is generally quite good. That already puts you on the top like 5% of Steam. That is a generally great result. But of course, that pales in comparison to a 4-month game, which is expected to make about $10 million. So yeah, 1.5 years to make 70K versus 4 months to make 10 mil. That is just another very practical example on the power of small games. If you make small games, you can basically test out different ideas, test out multiple ideas in the same time frame, and hopefully one of those will find this level of insane success. I'm constantly giving you advice of make small games, and I will continue giving that advice every time because it just is a strategy that has so many insane benefits, as we can see in this very practical example. Then lesson number 2 is actually something very interesting. So over here, they mentioned how when it was time for a new project around March, I was working on a prototype on GPU physics engine in Godot to simulate 2D terrain destruction, but we couldn't make a fun game out of it, so we decided to focus on a more simple game with proven mechanics. Our main inspiration was Outhole, that is an incremental tower defense game. And if this one right here, which did very well, 1700 reviews, that is massively successful, so this one did quite well. It's very much a minimalist tower defense incremental game, definitely quite interesting, quite unique. So they basically looked at this and they figured, okay, let's do this. But the second thing they did right, it's like they did a bunch of basically tech experience, tech R&D. They experimented trying to run multiple objects at once using GPU physics, trying to really push the scale by a massive amount. So what they did right was they took some that already existed, so Outhole, and they just applied that tech they researched onto that one, which essentially meant, okay, let's make this game, but let's push up the unit count by 10, 100, 1,000 times. That right there is basically 2 lessons in one. So the first one is something that I'm always constantly saying, which is take something that already exists, take about 80% of it, and just add 20% unique on top. If you want to find success, that is one of the best ways, one of the most risk-free ways you have. Some people, they just want to make 100% original games, and if you want that, then that's fine, but do know that is one strategy that is, let's say, high risk, but potentially high reward. If you go for something completely original, you might make the next Maletro and make literally $200 million, something like that. If you go insanely original, then you have basically no competition, so you can't find this success. But in reality, in most cases, if you go something so insanely original, chances are it is actually going to be more confusing and it will actually not work. So that is why what they did is literally what I recommend that you do, which is find a game that is already finding success, a game or genre, and basically just take 80% of it and add a nice 20% twist on top. That way you know the base is already very, very solid. And if you add a good twist on top, that alone is very good. That will help you quite a lot in finding success. And then the second lesson, also inside of this lesson, which is how for that 20%, there are many ways you can do it. But one way is simply exactly what they did here, which is take this game and just massively multiply the scale by 100 by 1000, and that alone might be enough to make the game stand out. Which in this game definitely was. So over here we can see the one they use as inspiration. Okay, this one looks really nice, very minimalist, quite nice. I quite like how it looks, but it's obviously very, very different from what they eventually made. This one, as you can see, is on a completely different scale. That is insane. So yeah, take a game that already exists and just multiply the scale by 100x, by 1000x, and all of a sudden you can find quite a bit of success. And if you want to follow that strategy of massively increasing the scale, if so, in Unity, what you want to use is dots. So I actually have a free course teaching you all about dots. This is an insanely powerful toolset that helps you make games that have literally tens of thousands of units. So if you want to make games on an insane scale, I definitely recommend you study dots. So continuing, so just by itself, they already had an interesting idea. They started from something basic and they multiplied the scale by a lot. That makes it quite a bit unique. But then importantly, they didn't really just make the game instantly just like that. No, instead, like they wrote here, after making some shorts, reels, TikToks about this very, very early, very ugly physics-based tower defense prototype, some of those videos gained serious traction, over 100k views, and people were begging us for a Steam page so they can wishlist the game. This is yet another thing they did insanely well. That is also something that I constantly talk about, which is how nowadays you need to validate your ideas. You need to be very good at idea selection, which these developers they did right by choosing some that exists and adding a nice twist on top. And then you also need to be very good at idea validation. So once you have your game idea, you need to validate there are actual players that do want it. And this is exactly what they did. They made a bunch of shorts, reels, TikToks. Even though they had a very early, very ugly base prototype, even though they had that, just with that, they already got over 100k views. That is a very clear, very, very strong sign that this idea does have a lot of potential. That is also what I recommend that you do whenever you have some kind of game idea that you think might be interesting. Instead of just dedicating the next 2 years or the next 6 months to that idea, instead of that, I just recommend, okay, take that idea, make a bunch of shorts, reels, TikToks, publish them, and try to see what is the reaction. If it turns out that you can barely get like 100 views on those videos, then perhaps the idea might not be as appealing as you might think. Whereas on the other hand, if those videos, they get 100k views, then you know for a fact that idea does have quite a lot of potential. You know you have potential gold on your hands. Then after that, they published the Steam page right away. So as soon as they had concept art and capsules for game screenshots, again, something very good. You should definitely publish your Steam page as soon as you have something visible to show. And right away, they got 900 wishlists on the first day. So again, this is another very, very strong sign. If you publish your Steam page and on the very first day without any special external marketing, without anything, you just get 900 wishlists, you know for a fact the idea is very appealing to people. So clearly a bunch of people looked at this and they saw, oh wow, an incremental game where I'm fighting literally thousands or tens of thousands of orcs. That sounds interesting. 900 people wishlisting right away, that is an insanely good amount. Usually when you publish a Steam page, you might get like 100 at the low end to like 300, 500 on more reasonable end. So if you get 900 on first day, guaranteed that's a great result. Then another important thing is they continued getting 50 to 150 wishlists per day, mainly from daily social media posts showing the work in progress stuff. Again, daily social media posts. Marketing is not something that you just do when you announce and when you launch a game. No, marketing has to be a constant, never-ending process. So yep, daily social media posts, that is very good, especially since they already validated the idea does have potential. If the original videos, the original ones got over 100k views, then yes, it just makes sense to continue posting about the game, continually getting more and more people. And yep, that's what they got. And getting 150 wishlists per day, that is an insane amount. If you do that and you announce the page, let's say 3 months before release, then 150 wishlists times 30 days times 90 days, then all of a sudden you get like 15k wishlists just by default, just by that. The next thing they did very well, they released an open playtest on Steam on April. Again, you definitely need to validate your games. So you validate first the idea, make sure the idea does have potential, but then as you're building on it, you want to make sure that you're building it correctly. So that is why you need a bunch of testers. Start off by asking friends and family to play your game, try to improve it as much as possible, then do an open playtest just like this, try to get more open people, a bunch more people inside, listen to the feedback, try to make it as best as you can make it. And on this one, since it was open, they actually started contacting content creators and a bunch of them picked it up and they got over 100k view videos. That is an insane amount. So again, yet another very strong signal that this idea does have a lot of potential. Then after that, since they did the open playtest, they got a very, very solid demo, a very, very solid working game. So because of that, they made an actual demo and released the demo in May. This is also extremely important. This is another very important step, which is note how they released the demo. And only afterwards, only 1 month later, in June, did they actually join Next Fest. This is another mistake that a lot of people make. They basically just publish the demo as soon as they go into Next Fest. No, you want to publish your demo way before Next Fest so that you have enough time to gather feedback from players so that you can polish it as much as possible so that when you go into Next Fest, you have something insanely solid that is basically just ready to get thousands of wishlists. So if that's exactly what they did, then they joined the Steam Next Fest, and yep, on that one got 18k wishlists per week. That is a very good amount, but here they actually mentioned something pretty funny. So interestingly, compared to a normal week, we only made a couple thousand wishlists more. So they were already finding so much success that joining Next Fest didn't actually bump them up too much. Just the default rate that was already insanely good. And finally, we released the game yesterday. After 5 hours, we had a peak of 8,000 concurrent players. That's insane. Right now, we are the number 18 top-selling game on Steam. There seems to be no critical bugs. Players generally like the game, 88% positive with 500 reviews. I'm looking at it right now, which is a few days afterwards. Yep, 1,500 reviews, still 87% positive. So yep, players absolutely love the game. So here are my takeaways on everything that I think they did right. So first of all, the tech exploration and turning it into game. So first they experimented with technology, then realized they could make a game out of it. That is always great when you experiment, just doing some R&D, trying to find something interesting. Then you figure out, oh, I made some interesting tech, I can actually apply it to a game. That is similar to what happened with the game Teardown. This, from what I know, from what I understand, basically the developer was doing some interesting exploration, just technology, just playing around with voxel engines. They first made the engine, then they realized, oh, this could actually make an interesting game. And by doing so, since it has such interesting custom technology, it actually made for a very good game. Then they also did a solid 80%, unique 20%. So again, the same thing that I mentioned. If you want the most risk-free way to find success, this is really the way to go. Find something where you can basically reuse something that is 80%, something that you already know, okay, the players are guaranteed to like this 80%, and now I just have to come up with a unique 20%, and if the players also like this, then I have something very strong. Then importantly, they validated their idea. So again, they did the shorts, reels, TikToks, those kinds of things, and they only went into production once they knew, okay, this idea does have potential. That is also what I recommend you do, and actually cover the step-by-step process on how you can find a winning game idea on this video. So if you haven't seen it and you want to find successful ideas, definitely recommend you watch this. Then they made a public Steam page. So basically, as soon as they had the visuals set up, the idea on lockdown, as soon as they had that, they published the Steam page. You want to publish your Steam page as early as possible so you have enough time to get a wishlist. But of course, not so early that you really just have prototype visuals. The first impressions, they do matter quite a bit. So that is why you want to publish it as early as possible, not too early. So as soon as you have visuals, as soon as you have something that actually looks good, and importantly does sell the vision of the game, that is exactly when you should make your Steam page. Then they continued with daily social media posts. So yep, they basically kept the momentum going. They were already getting a ton of wishlists, but they didn't stop the rest. Nope, they continued posting daily, continued getting more and more wishlists. Then after that, they did the open playtest to solidify the gameplay. Again, you want to constantly test out your gameplay. Even if you have a great game idea, if the gameplay is not solid, that can actually hurt it quite a bit. So you need to test out the gameplay itself. And like I mentioned, first you start with friends and family, and then you move on to something open, like this, an open playtest. The next step after that is publishing a demo a month before Next Fest. So again, you don't want to publish a demo right before Next Fest. No, you want to publish a demo way before Next Fest, so you have enough time for players to play it, to give you their feedback, so you can publish that demo to the absolute most best game possible. And then you go into Steam Next Fest with an actually very excellent demo, and then that allows you to get thousands of wishlists. So after that, they literally they joined Next Fest. They already had an insane amount of wishlists and they had even more. And then also, yet another important step, they published 1 month after Next Fest. So again, you don't want to publish, let's say, 1 week after Next Fest, because usually that is way too crowded. And you also don't want to publish like 3 months after when the other Next Fest happens, because that is way too late. So you want roughly around 1 to 2 months after Next Fest, that is when you want to launch. And yep, they did that perfectly. The result of following this entire plan is literally that. So over here, they mentioned they made 350k gross revenue in just 24 hours. So yep, here's the game. It's been about 1 week since it's been released. And as a rough math, usually the amount that you make on the first day, what you make on the first week is going to be about 2, 3, 4 times that amount. So if you make 350k on the first day, you are guaranteed to make about 1 mil on the first week. Then first week to first month is usually around 2 to 3 times. So if you make 1 mil on the first week, chances are you make 2 to 3 mil on the first month. And then what you make on the first 2 years or potential lifetime is about 2, 3 to 5, 7 times that amount. So yeah, if you make about 2 mil on the first month, chances are the game is going to make 10 million plus on the entire lifetime. So based on that, yep, this right here, this is indeed a $10 million game. They've already made 2 million and they will definitely make 8 million more over the next 1 to 2 years. So yep, this plan right here, that is where I say this is a masterclass on how to find success on Steam in 2026. If you want to find success, I definitely recommend you do all of this. I recommend you start off with idea selection. That is very important. You validate your ideas. If you do have an idea that does have potential, start off by making a public Steam page as soon as possible. Then continue posting about it. You've got to do continuous marketing. Then make a playtest to solidify the gameplay. Publish the demo before Next Fest. Then join to Next Fest with a really solid demo. And after that, publish the game 1 month after. And if you follow basically this one plan, essentially your odds of success are going to be much higher as opposed to if you just publish a game on Steam and that's it. So this story is really awesome, and just one minor takeaway at the end here, which is a super important note at the end of the post, which is how this is not the developer's first game. So like I always advise you, make more games. Most developers' success are not their first game, so don't quit after your first game. Make 2, 3, 4 games, which will give you experience and greatly increase your odds of success. And again, I also covered that in this video. So basically most developers, they quit after their first game. But if you want to find success, you definitely should make more games. So finally, like I wrote here, so I love the story. Really, I was amazed at how much they did well. They really perfectly followed the blueprint for success on Steam in 2026. Validate your ideas, start from a solid base and twist 20%, do an open playtest, then a demo before Next Fest, then Next Fest, and final launch. This really is a textbook example of the perfect plan in 2026. So if you're going to success, I really encourage you to follow a plan just like this, and hopefully in the future, it will be you posting about this, posting about how you made a $10 million game. By the way, I wrote about this in my Game Dev Report newsletter. This is what I write every single week with the latest game dev news and any interesting articles that I come across every single week. There's a new issue published every Sunday. You can sign up for free, so check it out through the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.